Welcome to Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm Josh Coan.
I'm Carter Burkwell.
Today we're talking about our Minnesota Vikings again. This is a really fun season, probably the most fun I've had since 2009 as a Vikings fan. A lot of fun, great season. Still have quarterback controversy. I don't know. We got two guys, I think, that could play pretty well under center. Case continues to make his case. Sorry, that was bad. But even with Teddy being healthy, Case continues to be the starter. The question is, how far can Case carry us? What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy at this point that every week I think the wheels are going to maybe start to fall off and it's going to be Teddy time, so to speak. And I do think eventually, I still think Teddy Bridgewater plays into this season at some point. I just think it's going to happen. But that being said, how far can Case take us? I think at this point he's proven that he can win against any team. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they have 10 wins, but really who have they beat? Maybe 1-2 wins. This is a Vikings team that continually beats good teams and has now proven that they can beat good teams on the road, can beat them at home, can win with offense, can win with defense, can win any way you want to win. This team has continually proved that they can do that and done it with Case under center playing extremely well at points. So I think Case can carry you all the way through the Super Bowl. I don't see at this point why he couldn't. I still do think Teddy is the better quarterback, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fact that if Case plays the rest of the year, how far can he take us? I don't think he's shown anything to prove that we couldn't win the Super Bowl with him.
I'm not saying I wasn't buying the Case Keenum hype, because I'm excited. I love watching him play. He's a guy who you love to root for. He's doing everything right so far, really. I mean, besides those back-to-back interceptions in Washington, he really hasn't played poorly yet. I was a little hesitant at first because he is a backup quarterback, but with this team around him, he is absolutely good enough to beat anybody in the league right now. I mean, he's shown that. I was a little concerned going into the Atlanta game and then at Carolina, back-to-back kind of better teams that we'll probably see in the playoffs. But he showed in Atlanta that he did enough to win. Both of us have given Teddy plenty of credit for having the intangibles, the it factor, that even though his numbers weren't great, he did what he needed to do to win. And even though they only scored 14 points against Atlanta, he did enough to win, and he didn't make mistakes. He got the early drive, he got the drive late, and I can't fault Case Keenum at all. So as much as we both agree that Teddy's probably the better quarterback, Zimmer sees Teddy in practice every day. He knows what Teddy's capable of. If he didn't think Teddy was ready or even better than Case Keenum, he probably would just name Case the starter and say, this is our guy. Teddy will be our backup going into whatever. But obviously he sees enough in practice. He's seen enough from Teddy Bridgewater that he still thinks that if something happens with Case, if the wheels do fall off, we have Teddy there ready. But we might have a problem where we have two quarterbacks and either one of these guys could probably win a Super Bowl for us. And that's crazy to sound. It sounds crazy, and as a Vikings fan, I don't even like saying that because it kind of makes me nervous. But with this team around him, this defense full of all-pro players, an offensive line that's playing almost as good as anybody in the league, and quite frankly, Diggs and Thielen are the best 1-2 receiver combination in the league right now. And that's early in the season. We were kind of saying that out of kind of hyperbole, just being excited Vikings fans. But legitimately, those two are as good as any duo in the league right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think Case has done enough to show that he can beat any team in the league, and he can do it effectively. He's shown that he can be a game manager and let the defense do what they need to do, like today, lead us on a couple really nice long drives to win against the Falcons. And then as well, I think he's proven that if he needs to win a shootout, he can. I don't want to get into a shootout with Case Keenum as my quarterback, but he's proven that he can do it. And I think it's a great position to be in to know that if something were to happen to Case, if the wheels were to fall off, I think you do have Teddy Bridgewater ready to go, who, in my opinion, may be better, if not just as good. And then, honestly, you have Sam Bradford sitting there at the end of the year who could come off IR. You possibly could have three quarterbacks that could take you to a Super Bowl, which is just insane to say. I don't think there's ever been a situation like this in NFL history with a quarterback situation. But it's definitely fun to watch. Case can take us all the way, banking on the fact that the defense continues to play like they have been, which is completely lights out. The running game continues to play well as well.
Yeah, that last drive that he led us on, that last scoring drive against Atlanta, I thought was huge because our offense wasn't scoring a lot of points. The defense was doing what they needed to do, holding a great Atlanta offense only to field goals, not let him in the end zone. For me, it was like, okay, Case, can you lead us on a late game drive to take back the lead against Atlanta, in Atlanta? And he did it. He did exactly what he needed to do. He didn't force anything all game long, but when the game was on the line, he drove him down there, and you got to give him a lot of credit. Yeah, it's been fun to watch, and it's going to be a fun rest of the season here. Absolutely. Let me know what you guys think. How far can Case carry this Vikings team? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See ya.